Longo, one of the most respected voices in mixed martial arts, recently shared his perspective on the growing debate surrounding Khamzat Chamayev's latest fight against Duplexus. While Chamayv walked away with a dominant victory, the bout sparked mixed reactions from fans. Many called it uneventful or even boring, which might sound surprising considering the reputation Chamayv has built as one of the most explosive fighters in the UFC today. Whenever Chamayv enters the octagon, expectations are sky high. Fans tune in anticipating chaos, fast-paced action, highlight real knockouts, and the kind of raw aggression that has defined his rise. Instead, what unfolded was a far more measured contest. Chamayv relied on relentless grappling, positional dominance, and suffocating control from bell to bell. For hardcore fans and martial artists, it was a masterclass. For casual fans, however, it fell short of the spectacle they've been conditioned to expect. Speaking as both a veteran coach and lifelong martial artist, Longo explained that he fully understands why the fight is drawing criticism. To him, it was a showcase of patience, intelligence, and elite execution. He respected the way Chamayv neutralized Duplexus, shutting down every escape, dictating the pace, and leaving his opponent with no real answers. That level of dominance, Longo argued, requires more than physical strength. It demands strategy, timing, and discipline at the highest level. Kenny Florian, another seasoned analyst who watched the fight closely, echoed that sentiment. He admitted that he never once thought of the fight as boring. Instead, he was captivated by Chamayev's relentless pace and ability to smother Duplexus with non-stop pressure. In his view, it was the very definition of a technical masterclass. But Longo offered an important reality check. The UFC doesn't market its product around grappling brilliance or defensive shutouts. Instead, the promotion builds its brand on explosive striking, two fighters standing toe-to-toe, trading shots until one goes down. The promotional material emphasizes knockouts, blood, and dramatic finishes. That's the package casual fans are sold on, and naturally, that's what they expect when they sit down on fight night. So when a fight unfolds differently, when it becomes a technical chess match of grappling control, many fans feel underwhelmed. They aren't analyzing the subtleties of top control or appreciating the art of slowly breaking an opponent's will. Instead, they see a lack of drama and call it boring. Longo emphasized that you can't even blame them for reacting that way. After years of UFC marketing, the audience has been trained to crave fireworks. The second the pace slows, boos begin to rain down almost automatically. This is the divide at the heart of the debate: entertainment versus martial arts purity. Hardcore fans, coaches, and students of the game see beauty in dominance. They recognize the difficulty of shutting down an elite opponent for an entire fight. Casual fans, meanwhile, crave action, and when they don't get it, they walk away disappointed. As Longo put it, that tension fuels the ongoing discussion around Chamayv's victory. Was it boring? For those who only want chaos, perhaps. But for those who value the craft of mixed martial arts, it was nothing short of brilliant. Moving to another news, UFC President Dana White has once again delivered big news, dropping a series of fight announcements that are set to reshape the middleweight division and beyond. Fans have been waiting with anticipation to learn who will emerge as the next challenger for Khamzat Chimayev's recently captured middleweight title. Now the picture is becoming clearer. Headlining UFC Vancouver on October 18th at the Rogers Arena will be a high-stakes clash between Rodolfo Vieira and Anthony Hernandez. This 5-round main event is more than just a battle between two surging contenders. It is a proving ground with direct title implications. Dana confirmed that the winner of Vieira versus Hernandez, or the victor of the upcoming fight between Caio Borralho and Nassourdine Imavov in Paris, will be next in line for Chimayev's middleweight crown. This carefully timed sequence of events ensures that the UFC will have a clear and deserving challenger ready by the end of the year. Fans will first see Borralho versus Imavov in Paris, followed just weeks later by Vieira versus Hernandez in Vancouver. From these two matchups, one fighter will emerge as the next rightful contender for UFC Gold. White also highlighted just how impressive Vieira's run has been since joining the promotion. Undefeated inside the octagon, Vieira already holds statement victories over rising star Bo Nickel and former champion Robert Whittaker. Even more remarkable is his level of activity. If he competes in Vancouver, it will mark his 5th fight in 2025 alone, an incredible pace for anyone, let alone a top 5 middleweight. Dana praised Vieira's willingness to stay active, noting that he admires fighters who consistently say yes to challenges and keep themselves sharp rather than waiting on the sidelines. On the other side of the main event, Anthony Hernandez comes in riding tremendous momentum of his own. Currently on an 8-fight win streak, Hernandez has looked better with each outing. Just 2 weeks ago, he secured a performance of the night victory over Roman Dolidze, showcasing the kind of relentless aggression and killer instinct that makes him a nightmare matchup for any opponent. Out of his 15 career wins, 12 have come by finish. Hernandez doesn't look to coast, he looks to end fights, and that makes him dangerous. Dana described Vieira versus Hernandez as a bad fight in the best possible possible way, a war where toughness, violence, and heart will all be tested. The excitement doesn't stop there. The co-main event is another barn burner, as Marlon Chito Vera takes on Arman Tsarukyan in a pivotal bantamweight contest. Vera, with 18 finishes in his 23 wins and a reputation for being one of the most durable and dangerous fighters in the division, has never been stopped in his career. Tsarukyan, meanwhile, is on a 6-fight win streak, including a victory over the legendary Jose Aldo. This matchup has major implications for the bantamweight title picture. The rest of the Vancouver card is equally stacked. Fan favorite Kevin Holland will face Canada's own Mike Malott in a guaranteed action welterweight bout. Holland, ranked 15, always brings chaos to the octagon, while Malott will have the energy of the home crowd behind him. Additionally, in the women's flyweight division, 2-ranked Manon Fiorot meets 5-ranked Jasmine Jasudavicius in a fight that could determine the next title challenger at 125 pounds. With Fiorot's sharp striking and Jasudavicius riding a 6-fight win streak, this matchup is one of the most important women's bouts of the year. Closing his announcement with trademark enthusiasm, Dana White hyped the card as one of the year's most exciting events, reminding fans that tickets go on sale tomorrow. "We're coming back to Vancouver October 18th, he said. "I'll see you in Canada." Moving to another news, lightweight contender Arman Tsarukyan has been making plenty of headlines after revealing new details about his next fight, and the buzz surrounding him continues to grow. While Tsarukyan's ultimate dream remains a showdown with Ilia Topuria for the lightweight championship, his latest interview with Red Corner MMA gave fans a clearer picture of what's next. According to Tsarukyan, the UFC has already begun lining up his next bout. Though no contract has been finalized, the promotion has informed him that the fight will most likely take place on one of two massive international stages, Abu Dhabi in October or Qatar in November. Both locations are staples for blockbuster UFC cards, drawing massive crowds and carrying significant stakes for fighters aiming to cement themselves among the elite. And this won't just be any fight. The names being discussed for Tsarukyan's next opponent are some of the biggest in the sport: Justin Gauthier, Dan Hooker, and Paddy Pimblett. Each potential matchup brings its own unique storyline, making any of them a can't-miss event for fans. When asked which opponent he would choose if given the option, Tsarukyan didn't hesitate. Without blinking, he named Paddy Pimblett. In true Arman fashion, he spoke with supreme confidence, boldly predicting that he would smoothly enter the octagon and knock him out with a head kick. This kind of fearless energy has earned Tsarukyan a loyal fan base, supporters who love not only his skill inside the cage, but also his desire to make a statement every time he competes. The potential rivalry becomes even more intriguing when paired with Pimblett's outspoken personality. Known for his brash confidence and ability to stir controversy, Pimblett adds fuel to any fight he's involved in. Their clash of styles, both in fighting and in personality, would likely generate enormous hype. Adding more spice to the story, Pimblett recently made comments following UFC 319 where he reacted to Khamzat Chimaev's dominant victory. Pimblett called it a complete shutout, saying the scorecards could have easily read 50-44 or even 50. While praising Chamayv, Pimblett also threw subtle shade at Tsarukyan, suggesting that Arman was trying to steal attention while his teammate was the one truly shining with championship gold. It was a small jab, but one that instantly added tension to the idea of a future clash. Meanwhile, Pimblett's stock is rising quickly. Following his most recent win, he jumped 2 spots in the lightweight rankings, leapfrogging Beneil Dariush and Mateusz Gamrot to secure the 7th position. That move into the top 10 makes him a prime candidate for marquee matchups, and suddenly a Pimblett versus Tsarukyan fight feels far more realistic. Looking at the lightweight division today, the competition is stacked like never before. You have Pimblett breaking into the top 10, Tsarukyan pushing toward a title shot, Gaeth is still one of the most dangerous knockout artists in MMA, Dan Hooker ready for war at any moment, and even Max Holloway teasing a permanent move to 155 pounds to chase another championship. With so many big names circling the title picture, the lightweight division may be the most exciting in the UFC. And if Arman Tsarukyan does land the fight he wants against Paddy Pimblett, it won't just be another main card matchup. It could very well be one of the most talked about lightweight clashes of the entire year. Moving to another news, UFC welterweight contender Balal Muhammad did not hold back when asked for his reaction to Duplexus' performance at UFC 319. Speaking bluntly, Muhammad argued that Duplexus looked like a fighter merely trying to survive rather than compete, accusing him of showing no urgency, no adaptation, and no championship mentality against Khamzat Chimaev. According to Muhammad, the fight was far too easy for Chimaev. From the opening bell, the champion secured takedowns with little resistance and dominated with positional control. Muhammad compared Duplexus' approach to a grappling round in the gym, where some athletes cling defensively and refuse to take risks, satisfied with simply lasting until the buzzer. That's exactly what Duplexus did, Muhammad said. He was content to just hang on instead of scrambling, creating space, or fighting with desperation when he was trapped. One of the most glaring examples Muhammad noted was when Chamayv locked Duplexus in the crucifix position, a dominant hold where an opponent is pinned and unable to defend incoming strikes. Despite being in one of the worst positions in MMA, Duplexus showed zero urgency according to Muhammad. Rather than fighting with fire, he simply absorbed punishment until the round ended. In my eyes, that's not the mentality of a true contender, Muhammad said. A champion fights back. A champion takes risks. A champion refuses to go out quietly. Duplexus looked like he just wanted to survive the 5 rounds and avoid being finished at all costs. Muhammad also reminded fans that wrestling defense has been a long-standing weakness in Duplexus' game. He pointed out that in past fights, opponents like Derek Brunson, Robert Whittaker, and Darren Till had all managed to take Duplexus down. To Muhammad, UFC 319 only reinforced what insiders already knew. Duplexus struggles against high-level grapplers. People bought into the hype, Muhammad continued, because his recent fights were against strikers who never pushed his grappling defense to the limit. He's been benefiting from favorable matchups, but the moment he faced an elite wrestler and grappler like Khamzat, the hole in his game was exposed, and it happened on the biggest stage possible. Muhammad went further, criticizing Duplexus' preparation and overall evolution as a fighter. Preparation means nothing if you refuse to evolve, he said. And the truth is, Duplexus hasn't evolved. He looks like the same fighter who had those defensive lapses years ago. At this level, you can't just show up the same and expect to win. The sport passes you by. Looking ahead, Muhammad even questioned whether Duplexus has the mentality required to stay in the title picture. If you're going to fight at championship level, you can't be satisfied with just making it to the scorecards, he said. You need urgency, you need fire, and you need to prove that you belong. Duplexus didn't show any of that at UFC 319. In the end, Muhammad gave full credit to Khamzat Chimaev, praising him for exploiting those weaknesses with ease and proving why he now sits at the top of the middleweight division. For Muhammad, the fight wasn't competitive in the slightest. This wasn't even close, he concluded. Chimaev dominated, Duplexus survived, and that's all anyone needs to know. And finally, Paulo Costa has never been one to mince words, and his latest interview on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani proved that once again, true to form, the Brazilian middleweight contender delivered blunt responses, bold claims, and a chilling call-out aimed directly at the new king of the division. When Helwani raised the topic of Israel Adesanya, who recently hinted at being open to giving Costa a rematch as a chance for redemption, Costa wasted no time in shutting it down. His response was short, sharp, and brutal. Fuck him. There was no hesitation, no build-up, just raw dismissal. For Costa, that chapter is closed. In his eyes, there's nothing left to prove against the last stylebender, and no interest whatsoever in revisiting a fight that, to him, belongs in the past. Instead, Costa turned his attention to a far bigger prize, current middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev. With the confidence and edge fans have come to expect from him, Costa sent a message dripping with defiance and menace. He declared that he has been preparing for Chimaev's wrestling-heavy style for years, and is fully equipped to stop it. I know you're going to rush, I know you're going to shoot on my legs, but I'm ready for that, Costa said, promising that Chamayv would pay dearly for every takedown attempt. Costa insisted he can stuff Chimaev's shots, and even if taken down, he would pop right back up without issue. More importantly, he vowed to make Chimaev suffer in the process. Costa revealed that his coach Eric Albarracin has crafted a specific game plan designed not only to neutralize Chimaev's wrestling, but to punish it. In a 5-round fight, Costa claimed Chimaev would not just gas out from constant resistance, he would absorb serious damage along the way. Costa described a scenario where Chimaev's relentless style would backfire, turning into a war of attrition that would break him. You won't be allowed to quit. You won't be given an easy way out. You will regret every takedown attempt, Costa warned, ending his statement with a chilling promise: I will defeat you. But Costa wasn't the only fighter making headlines this week. Over in the welterweight division, Sean Brady voiced his frustration with Ian Gary, accusing the rising Irish star of ducking him twice. According to Brady, the UFC first tried to book the fight during International Fight Week in Chicago. Brady said yes immediately, but weeks passed without Gary committing. Later, the promotion circled back, this time with an even bigger opportunity: Brady versus Gary as a main event in Vancouver. Once again, Brady instantly accepted, but according to him, Gary dragged his feet until the UFC eventually moved on, slotting another fight, Ronderos versus Hernandez, into the headline spot instead. The missed opportunities left Brady both sidelined and furious. "I lost a chance to headline a card because he wouldn't sign," Brady said, even sarcastically thanking Gary for wasting his time. His message was crystal clear: he's ready to fight anyone, anytime, anywhere, but it means nothing if opponents won't put pen to paper. Between Costa's brazen challenge to the champion and Brady's fiery accusations against Gary, the MMA world has once again been reminded why this sport is as much about words as it is about fists.